welcome back to another video. Today's video is not a report. This is a opinion-based video about apparently Apple supposedly considering removing the lightning cable from the iPhone, iPads, and future accessories and replacing them with USB Type-C, and then another report suggests removing it with just altogether going wireless. Now, that's kind of a report that I never wanted to do because I feel that that's not a report. That's not something that should be making big news. Apple supposedly considering removing headphone jack and things like that. That was before. But we're talking about now, the lightning, that I don't think that's going to happen at all. And I'm going to tell you why. Now, first off, I just want to say that the removal of the lightning cable has been discussed for a long time. Everybody's been asking for it. Everybody wants the lightning cable to be removed very, very badly. And for obvious reasons, because everybody wants Apple to be universal, to like devices support, like they want you to support what everybody's using, like Galaxies, Android phones. They all use USB Type-C. Now, on the one hand, it would make sense to move to USB Type-C, which is what everyone is saying Apple may do. They may replace next year's phone with USB Type-C. They may implement wireless, like a future wireless stuff. Now, I want to kind of break it down. What do I think? Will Apple remove the lightning the lightning port? Or will they remove the lightning connector, period? The answer to that question is kind of a little hard because on the one hand, it would make sense why Apple would do it. If you look at the MacBook Pros, they all use USB Type-C, and you have to buy little adapters to connect to USB Type-A and use that to convert to Lightning, or you could have what I have over there, the USB-C to Lightning cable, which is probably your best bet to use. So on the one hand, they're implementing USB Type-C, but at the same time, it really wouldn't make sense to remove the lightning cable. Now I'm going to explain why I think it's both a good thing and a bad thing. So let's start with the good thing. It's good because then you can be obviously universal. You can have other devices use the USB Type-C cable, not just making your product secure or like exclusive. Now I know everybody complains about Apple like not wanting to be in this whole brand, but for them to put USB Type-C into the MacBooks, it's a step in the right direction. Now, if you look at the track record for Apple implementing universal cables, the only one that they've implemented is USB Type-A, and that's pretty much it. FireWire, I think, was exclusive to the Mac lineup. I believe so. Let me look that up. I just want to make sure, because I remember FireWire was pretty much a technology that was developed by Apple. So yes, FireWire was done by Apple, and only Apple, I think, used it at the time. But the point I'm trying to get at is if they remove the lightning cable, it will let other devices be more, like, it'll be allowed with iPhones to not just have exclusive products. That's a good thing. And another thing, it makes it easier to use your MacBook. So you don't have to buy another cable. You can just use USB Type-C to USB Type-C. Much more easier and simpler and faster, because USB Type-C is substantially faster than Lightning. But now let's talk about why it's bad. And there's a couple reasons. Now, first off, if they remove the lightning cable, they're removing all the years that they've tried to work and build around the lightning cable. Because if you look at Apple right now, almost all their devices are connected by lightning. Their smart keyboard, their smart mouse, the iPads, the iPad Pro, the AirPods, the Beats X, which is the only headphone to support the lightning along with the AirPods. You also have the iPhone, and you have, I believe, a couple of other products. But the point I'm trying to get at, Lightning is so surrounded in Apple that if they were to remove it, it would be really, really hard to kind of get a new cable implemented because you've been using the Lightning cable for all these products for so long. The Lightning came out when the iPhone 5 debuted, and I remember that being like one of the most revolutionary cables at the time. It was reversible, so you could flip it over. It was better than micro USB, so at that time, Lightning beat micro. But when USB-C came out, if Apple had switched over at that time, it would have been easier. So then you could have all your products enabled into the USB-C. But because the Lightning is so heavily used, almost all Apple devices support Lightning. So it would be very, very hard for them to just say, oh, we're going to do this and then do that. it's going to create a mess. That's number one. Number two, if they were to implement USB Type-C, then they would have to start selling products that use USB Type-C. Now, MacBooks are one, but are you going to tell me that you're going to resell AirPods? Like, are you going to create two separate devices, one with Lightning, one with USB Type-C? That's confusing. So they would have to redo the whole lineups and redo the whole stuff. Or they could just do it solely for iPhones. Leave the iPad, let that run on Lightning, maybe. But you see, there's problems right there if they were to switch over to USB Type-C, because then they'd have to do it across the board. So it's kind of an ass situation if they were to go to USB Type-C. Now, in terms of this whole rumor with them dropping the port in general, I don't believe that is 100% false. I believe that's 100% false. Because, first of all, Apple is going for wireless, but it is hard to give up a cable that can supply power faster than wireless charging. Now, most areas are trying to get into the whole of wireless charging, but not all places support wireless charging, like Starbucks. Starbucks sells these little tables that you put your phone down and wirelessly charge. That's convenient, but here's the thing. Not all Starbucks in the United States have these tables or these accessories. Cars have wireless charging, but not all cars do. So no one has fully embraced this wireless future that Apple is trying to do. And I don't think Apple would be stupid enough to remove the port, period. I would rather them change the port than remove it, because to me, the Lightning cable or the USB Type-C, whatever cable they were ever put in a device, it supplies power, and you have power banks that take the cable and you just use it throughout the day, backup battery chargers and stuff like that. So to remove the cable altogether, that's a very, very heavy task, and I don't think everyone is truly engulfed in this wireless future that they're going for. However, I do see that as a possibility, because if you look at the track record, I have not known one person that uses a converter for USB Type-A to send out their videos and documents and stuff. They've done wirelessly through their iPhone, through AirDrop. So in a way, it would make sense why they would drop it, but I don't see them doing it this year, next year, or even 2020. Maybe years later, I could see that happening, but right now, everyone needs the cables, so dropping it now would make absolutely no sense. So that's kind of my take on what I think if Apple was to remove the Lightning cable, replace it with USB Type-C, and if they were to drop the port, period. Now I want to hear your thoughts. What would you think how would you think of the situation? Do you think Apple would do this? Do you think they would change to USB Type-C? Is it smart? Dumb? Let me know in the comments. I am all for it if they go for USB Type-C, but you got to understand the problems that it creates if you're going to remove the Lightning cable. Not saying the Lightning's good or bad. I'm just saying if you're going to do this, just know that all the devices that Apple makes will now have to be changed over, and then let's say you're using ports that have the Lightning, it's going to be very hard to switch over, so it's going to create a lot of confusion. So just understand that if Apple was to change this. Now, it could be good, it could be bad, but I want to hear your opinions in the comments below. That's going to do it for this video. Thank you for watching, and peace.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face, tell me that you love me, even if it's